Very happy Memorial Day to everybody. We're going to have a little Memorial Day fun. We're going to talk our Philadelphia Phillies today. Are they really this good? Or is it a product of the schedule? Eagles OTAs start later this week. We got football to talk about. Real on-the-field football this week. So we're going to talk about that. And who knows what else is going to come on today. Trending in the AM, we're live, taking your thoughts and opinions on everything on this Memorial Day in 30 seconds. And a very good morning, everybody, and welcome to Trending in the AM right here on the STT Sports Network. We are live, YouTube and Twitter. You know the drill. Wherever you're watching, please hit that like button. Please hit that share button. Of course, hit subscribe. I'd greatly appreciate it as we continue to grow. We're up to 528 subscribers on the STT Sports Network YouTube page. So the way we keep growing this is by you hitting that like button, by you hitting that share button, and, of course, hitting subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it, guys. It's free to do. Does not cost you a penny to do those things. So get in and get that done, guys. We got lots to talk about today on the STT Sports Network. It is Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to each and every one of you out there. I hope everybody is safe and has fun today, enjoys the beautiful day, but also remember what the true meaning of Memorial Day is really all about. So do not forget those details while you're out there barbecuing and having a good old time. But anyway, what's up, Josh Allen's Wasted Career? How you doing this morning? Hope you are well. Good morning, little G. Hope you are well as well. Hope you are well as well. Whatever. Anyway, so guys, everybody, we're going to talk a little Phillies. We're going to talk a little Eagles. Why did I wake you up? Why not? Why not? What, you think because it's Memorial Day, I get off? I'm still going at it. I still got work to do. I still got a job to do. I take days off occasionally, but not because of Memorial Day. Hey, good for you. Good for you. I need one. This hair's getting a little froey here. It's time. It's almost time. So we got lots to talk about today. We're going to talk about this Philadelphia Phillies. They lost yesterday to the Oakland Athletics, but obviously completed a 9-1 10-game stretch to overtake MLB and have the best record in baseball. So we've got to discuss and figure out how good the Philadelphia Phillies actually are, if they are. And I know from last night there was already a comment put in here from Nooms. They're just relatively healthy, and the Mets are banged up, and they played a very, very easy schedule. So the schedule definitely plays a factor into the Phillies. So we're going to talk a lot about that. And then, of course, tomorrow? Yeah, tomorrow's the 27th. Tomorrow, the Eagles are back on the practice field with their first voluntary set of OTA practices tomorrow and Wednesday. Then they practice again on Friday, then a few times next week. So we are back to actually practicing and playing football. So that's where I get the question or the topics of what are we most looking forward to learning about the Philadelphia Eagles over the next 2 weeks of OTA? Is there anything you're trying to learn? Is there anything you want to learn about this team? So we're going to talk about that as well. Josh Allen, you're wanting to know about the Indy 500. Was that yesterday? I don't know. Got no clue. What's Indy 500? Is that NASCAR or is that the other racing? I don't even know. What's up, Adam? Happy Memorial Day to you as well. Exactly. Remember all those who sacrificed lives for our freedoms so that you can enjoy that hot dog today. That is very, very, very important. Clearwater Threshers are best. Clearwater, anything is great. What's up, Rick? Happy Memorial Day to you. Phillies have as many wins against plus 500 teams as the Dodgers. Look, I think it's very tough, Rick, for people like me, and maybe Nooms to an extent, when we look at this Phillies. I mean, they've obviously gone 9-1 in their last 10, their last 20, and so on. They've been very good for a very long stretch. And yes, they have the best record in baseball. And I'm trying to put a positive spin, and I'm trying to stay positive because you can only face the teams that are on your schedule. The Braves next, so doesn't matter, you know? But there has to be part of the conversation that, yes, the Phillies did just play the Pirates, Rockies, and Athletics. So there's an obvious reason why. If the Phillies came out and only won 6 of 10 or 5 of 10, there'd be a really big issue here after this stretch. They took care of business. They still show the same issue, which is the bullpen. I mean, that cost them yesterday. And was sketchy at points throughout the last 10 games. But they are the best team in baseball. So you have to give them credit for that. As much credit as possible. Exactly, Rick. And everybody does play that. Everybody does. And, well, does everybody? I don't know. You don't play every team. But anyway, I get it. Everybody plays these bad teams. And not everybody goes 9-1 against these 3 teams. So I'm very happy with how the Phillies have looked. I'm very happy how Trey Turner and Bryce Harper are breaking out of their slumps. I'm very happy that this team is clicking offensively very, very well. Brandon Marsh, Alec Boehm has been very good the last 3-4 weeks of the season. Average up to probably like 270 almost at this point, Alec Boehm. 272. Almost got his OPS back over 7. There's so much good that has happened. And I was trying to explain it to someone yesterday that despite them playing bad teams, beating up on bad teams helps build your momentum and confidence up for when you play the good teams. Bullpen, okay, when they won 2. Look, yeah, the bullpen's been good. It hasn't been perfect. Come on. If you don't think there's a problem still in this bullpen, that they need arms, I mean, that's just blind. Yes, we know who the Clearwater Thrashers are. They didn't say we didn't. I'm not bitching. I'm not complaining. I'm trying to put a very generalized thought process together here that's not too homerish and not too negative. Why can't there just be a middle ground where we just discuss it? Why has it got to be that we're bitching? I'm not bitching about anything. Said we still need bullpen help. Our bullpen still is not trustworthy for when we get to October. I've just rattled off all the positives about this team, offensively speaking. Pretty sure I haven't done one bit of bitching yet today. It's Memorial Day. Why would I bitch? Why would I complain on Memorial Day? Never complain on a holiday like today. Why would I? There's definitely room to improve for this Phillies team. Without a shadow of a doubt. Plain and simple. But they did win. And there's a lot of good happening with this team right now. Still a little questionable on Rob Thompson not letting Bryson Stott play every day, but that's another whole topic. Exactly. That's all I'm trying to say. Rick thinks we're bitching and moaning. We're just trying to say you can still see through the wins and see there's still room to improve. That's all there is to it, Big Al. Not looking too homerish, not looking too negative Nancy, looking down the middle. Looking at a very, open-minded way at this team. Are they really this good? Are they the best team in baseball? Their record says they are. Are they going to remain the best team in baseball record-wise? I don't know. I did not hit any outrights. I did actually, shockingly, turn a profit on DFS, on the fantasy stuff, K1. I don't know how. So I did not have a single 6-for-6 lineup. I didn't even have a single 5-for-6 lineup. I had 2 4-for-6 lineups that made me money this week. So how? I have no idea. But I did have Ben Griffin who won in both those lineups, and he was low owned. So, it was one of those weird ones this week where everything said I should have lost money. I actually made money. Kind of crazy. So we'll be live tomorrow night, 6 p.m., Fairway to Heaven, breaking down this week's Memorial from Muirfield Village. I love them. I love Muirfield. I love that course. Thompson's decision to not play Stott every day, and they won 9 straight games. Gets Topper. pretty good at his managing thing. You know, it's funny, Rick. Can't we just be honest for a second? Doesn't Topper ever do anything that makes you scratch your head? And the thing is, Topper does a lot of non-traditional stuff or things that make me scratch my head. And yes, most of the time it works out. Rob Thompson gets so lucky some of his decisions work out on such a regular basis. I mean, I like Bryson Stott. I do. I like Edmundo Sosa. But Bryson Stott's the future of this team at second base. Sosa's not. The fact that Sosa started like 3 out of 4 games over Stott was crazy. You don't want him to lead off anymore, that's fine. You want Trey Turner to lead off, that's fine. But come on. How is Bryson Stott ever going to get better against lefties if you never let him play against lefties? And I know, what was it, Saturday, he finally let him start against a lefty. It's the first time all year. And it was only because he, because he sat him for so many. It's just crazy. And look, Sosa's a nice player. And you got to get your bench guys at bats. But not as much as Topper does. I mean, it's a little crazy. Every what? Oh, it was cut off. Every coach in every sport makes you scratch your head. Absolutely. Even Nick Sirianni makes us scratch our heads from time to time, and he's the greatest coach in Philadelphia. Luck is preparation meets opportunity. Actually, I really like that line. That's a very thought-provoking line right there. Absolutely, very, very good line right there. That should be like on my motivational board. I don't have a motivational board, but preparation meets opportunity. Scotty Scheffler makes me scratch other parts of my. I see. That is something. That is a something right there. UFL, one more regular season week. It's not over yet. UFL started like 7 months ago. Is anybody even watching the UFL? Oh my God! Don't let this happen. We don't need expansion of the UFL. Who cares about the UFL? Nobody. I'd rather talk, and we're going to talk, about the Eagles and OTAs starting this week. Eagles put the I don't actually think they wear pads in OTAs, but in theory, put the pads back on and get back on the field and get back to work tomorrow. And I think this is a very, very, very important 2-week stretch for the Philadelphia Eagles, practice related. And there's a lot of things to keep an eye on, so to speak, with our Philadelphia Eagles over the next 2 weeks. You've got a new offensive coordinator in Kevin Patullo. You got to start working out the communication with Patullo and Jalen Hurts. What is he going to do differently than Kellen Moore? What will this offense look differently wise with Kevin Patullo instead of Kellen Moore? So there's that. You got camp battles starting to form. Right guard. I know it's Tyler Steens, but it could be stolen. Keely Ringo is the starter in theory, but could be stolen. Who is going to play linebacker if John Campbell is not ready? There's going to be a battle. There's a lot of things to really pay attention to and learn a little bit about this week. I think Thomper, so it's not Thompson, it's not Topper, Thomper, I like that, is a good coach who gets criticized a little too much. He definitely makes moves I don't like. If he wins the World Series this year, him and Sirianni traveled almost the same path. Yeah, look. Maybe I criticize Rob Thompson a little too much. But it's just because the same mistakes happen every playoffs. He's a great regular season coach. He just hasn't proven to get the team over the hump when it matters most in October. What's on the menu today? Pizza. I'll be working today, 11 to 4. Come on out to Fox's Pizza, everybody. We're doing, for walk-ins only, $10 large cheese pizzas. Today only. Mention it right here. Fox's Pizza, Kennett Square. After the Kennett Square parade, come on out. 11 to 4 today. $10 large cheese pizzas for Memorial Day. Alas, the Philadelphia Phillies doth vex mine heart with their capricious ways, like the ever-changing tides. Their fortunes rise and fall, leaving me to question their true mettle. Look at this. First Rick with the inspirational line, and then Mista with this little bit of poetry, I guess I'll call it, in the comment section. Y'all are vibing this morning, for sure. Makuba versus Brown battle at the safety position go to me. You know what? I didn't put that on my top 5 list on Twitter yesterday, Rick, on things I'm looking for. Because I don't know, like, there's going to be a battle there. But is there? I don't know why I didn't even think of this as a battle. Is Sidney Brown already off? Is it already Makuba's? In my mind, Drew already is the starter. And I don't think it's big as a battle as right guard. But it's crazy. I mean, it's not easy for rookies to pick up the Vic Fangio defense very quickly. Depending on the position, so to speak. Safety and linebacker, they're the 2 spots that probably have the most responsibilities to learn in a Vic Fangio system. Sidney Brown's been here for a full year under Vic Fangio. Not on the field, but he's been here. Makuba has not. So maybe there is a battle there. I like that. Capricious, sorry. Not pronouncing well this morning. How would Mista feel if they lost 9 out of 10 instead of winning 9 out of 10? Look, obviously, if they lost 9 out of 10 against the Pirates, Rockies, and Athletics, we'd be having a much different Monday morning here. Obviously, having a much different morning here. But they did. So we're being positive. You think we're being negative, but we're not. We're being actually very positive about the Philadelphia Phillies right now. In fact, very positive at this point. Mr. the Bard. What? Missing that one. What else is everybody looking for? That's what I said. That's exactly what I said. They didn't lose 9 out of 10. They won 9 out of 10. So we're being very, very positive this morning. They are literally, record speaking, the best team in baseball. I put out on Twitter, Rick, and let's see if I can find it right now. I put out a poll on Twitter this weekend, despite Twitter being wonky and crashing 100 times. Here it is. There's 76 votes on it right now. I'll share it up here on the screen. Present, share screen, Twitter. Now, this was done after or on Saturday, I believe, is when I put this out there. So it doesn't count yesterday's game or even Saturday night's game. But after Friday's game, the Phillies were on pace to win 104.8 games. How many will they finish with? And this is where the voting is at this point. Most people think they could still finish in that 96 to 99. I'm kind of shocked at how the voting went on this. I would have figured either the 100 to 104, the positivity, or the super negativity in the 92, 95 would have won out. Now, there were a few people that commented below under 92, 92, and stuff like that. But this is where the fans, this is where the people at this point think the Phillies are going to finish up. Expansion finally be owned by private investors. Tom Brady to buy the Tampa Bandits. Cool. Hella hungover. So am I. That we can agree on, Josh Allen. One day they both doth shine like the sun, vanquishing their foes with ease. The next they stumble and falter as if cursed by some malevolent spirit. How can one place faith in a team so fickle? Mr. is on fire this morning. This is on something this morning. Anyway, that's where the Philadelphia Phillies fan base on Twitter is feeling about this Phillies team at this point. Just so you guys know. Just thought that would be interesting to put up on the screen there and let everybody know that's what they're thinking of at this point. Excuse me. Somebody read a book. I could buy a UFL team and still not want to watch. Yeah, I mean, what's it cost? $500 to buy an NFL, a UFL team? I mean, seriously. Who cares about the UFL? Nobody. Nobody cares about the UFL. if they're really expanding, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their business model is if they're really trying to expand at this point. Mr. Shakespeare. Yeah. Somebody, Mr.'s vibing on some poetry this morning or some poetic comments this morning. Cool. Good. Awesome. Rick, what's on? It's Memorial Day. There's going to be barbecues everywhere. Today, a barbecues, parade, and remembering those that served and fell serving our country. So here's the question. But for Mister, because Mister, you're the beer guy. What's the beer of the day for Memorial Day? Beer's in fridge. Snacks are ready. NASCAR 600. Is NASCAR today? You know what really annoys me, and I'll say that, and I'll put this out there. How the Phillies don't have a game on Memorial Day. Like, Memorial Day starts summer, basically, unofficially. Memorial Day is the end of May. And it's an American holiday. And what's more American than baseball? And yet we don't have a baseball game on Memorial Day. It's kind of weird. Kind of feel like the Phillies should obviously be playing today. The Delco Delinquents is a good UFL. You know, what town of Delco would best suit a UFL football team? I was thinking Springfield at first, but Springfield's too uppity. Springfield would think that they're too good for a UFL team. I'm trying to think what Delco town would best suit a UFL team. Mr. Bin, he's been something. Rick is the beer guy. Mr. got nothing on me when it comes to beer prowess. Cool. Go for it. Let's see. Indy 500 is the beginning of summer. He already commented on that earlier in the show. Was that yesterday or today? I don't know. The NASCAR Coke 600 was last night. You guys know way too much about NASCAR and IndyCar and racing for me. I literally know nothing about car racing, horse racing, any kind of racing. Literally nothing. There was a woman in Florida. Yeah, so okay. We're not going back to the Delco Dumper today. All day IPA. Oh, the all day IPA. I like a good all day IPA. It's good. Very good. See, Rick, last night I was out at dinner last night, had a new IPA, and now this morning I can't remember its name. That's why I need to have that app on my phone so I can be marking these things when I'm drinking. But I don't. So I forget. Whatever it was last night, though, was a very good IPA. Tickle something. Had the word tickle in the name. Anyway, let's stay here. Let's stay focused. Phillies, are they really this good? And of course, Philadelphia Eagles OTAs. I know. And I keep telling myself I got to re-download it and start tracking what I drink, but I keep forgetting. Tickle Parks might have been actually what it was. That actually might be what I was drinking last night. It was Tickle was in the name. It was an IPA. The Blue Route is the closest to NASCAR. I think driving the Blue Route is more dangerous than driving a NASCAR race, right? Would be my guess. Yes, you're right. You're spot on. Levant Brewing, Tickle Parts. Levante, yeah. That's exactly. See, so like I can just name one of 4 words in a beer name, and just like that, you figured it out. It was really solid last night. First Spaniard to win the Indy 500 yesterday. Okay. Is that good? Is that cool? Is that something exciting? I don't know. Do you? Like, okay. I don't care about NASCAR. I did watch some of the Charles Schwab yesterday during the day, but that was about it. I watched the Phillies yesterday. We watched it at the restaurant, then I watched it at home a little bit, then at the restaurant for the second half of it when we went out to dinner last night. So, yeah, I mean, I might sound like the negative guy when it comes to the Phillies asking a question like this. Are they really this good? But I still watch them. We got another Mystic comment coming in that's big. In mine hand, I clutch a tankard brimming with hearty ale. Its amber glow a mirror to the sun's own light. With each quaff, the brew doth warm my soul. A nectar fit for lords and laborers alike. Look at that. Look at that. I know NASCAR and Indy are two different things. They're both racing, though. Okay? They're racing. Different types of cars. There's a lot of differences. I know. I just don't know anything about the drivers, the schedule, the importance of any of it. I don't know. Dang, I missed it. Oh well. You did. Yeah, it would have probably been a little bit more exciting than any of that UFL action that you watched this weekend, though. I will say that because we know that is not what's exciting at all. So anyway, back to the Eagles here, guys. OTAs. Let's talk a little Eagles and OTAs today and what we're looking forward to this week, watching and learning about this Philadelphia Eagles football team. Okay, what can we learn about this Phillies team? So I wrote down 5 things that I'm looking forward to. No particular order. Kevin Patullo. It's his first time in charge of an offense. It's his first time working and calling plays with Jalen Hurts, another new offensive coordinator for Jalen Hurts to learn with. So that is something very important to learn this week. The right guard battle. Yes, it's Tyler Steen's, but he lost it last year. And there's 6 guys on this roster that could steal that job from him. So we're going to see what we learn about the right guard position over the next 2 weeks. Inside linebacker, who is going to be the guy lining up against Zach Revert next to Zach Vaughn, while Nakobe Dean and Jahad Campbell continue to recover from injury. Kick returner, punt returner, I put on my list. Why? Because Avery Williams, return specialist, can also play running back, can also play cornerback, but he's the first real true return specialist this team has had in a very long time. And, of course, Keely Ringo. There is no real competition for Keely Ringo other than Adoree Jackson. Can Keely Ringo keep the job safe where Howie Roseman doesn't have to go out and add another cornerback in the next couple of weeks? Those are the things I'm looking for this week and next week. Those are the things I'm paying attention to with the Philadelphia Eagles. You should like the Indy 500. There's a lot of crashes just like your show. Show hasn't crashed, knock on wood. Okay? Like physically crashed. But theoretically, it crashes all the time. I mean, when you bring up the UFL and when you bring up an NASCAR and IndyCar, yes, it's going to be crash. I like Steen, but Kendall going to eventually be a starting no lineman in this league at some point. Absolutely. So let me see, without looking at a thing, can I name the 6? You got Kendall, you got Kennard, you got Pryor, you got Cam Williams, and you got Holland Pierce, and the other kid, the kid we traded in, or we got in the Chauncey Gardner-Johnson trade. All 6 of those guys have a path to taking that job from Tyler Steen. If Tyler Steen couldn't beat out Mekhi Becton, who never played a down of right guard in his life, if he couldn't beat that guy out last year, now there's 6 guys pushing him. Now, I do think Tyler Steen will get and win the job. But will he win it enough where he holds on to it long term, Rick? I don't know. Not sure the answer to that. Something just doesn't seem right, like with Tyler Steen, in my opinion. Like that maybe he's just one of those guys that doesn't work out. One of those draft picks that I don't want to say it's a bust per se, because he was, a 3rd rounder? So I don't know if you call a 3rd rounder a bust or not. He just might be what he is. A depth, swing guard, tackle, because he's played a little bit of everything. He just might be your depth guy. And that might be what he's best at. Spot starts, filling in when guys go down middle of games. Yeah, I agree. See, the thing is, Sidney Brown has had the unfortunateness of getting injured and that's slowing down his development and also slowing down his wheels. I'm curious to see if Sidney Brown has learned anything over the last 12 months of being in Philly with Vic Fangio. I think Makuba is the front runner, but rookies struggle in a very difficult position of safety to learn under Vic Fangio, linebackers and safeties. So you got to, I kind of feel like it's probably closer than we realize between Sidney and Drew at safety. Now, do you want somebody like a rookie next to Reed Blankenship starting, or do you want someone that's been here a year? But in theory, he's kind of not much better than a rookie because he hasn't really played much in his 2 years here in Philly. I have not crashed yet. Not yet today. Or go off track. We're always off track. Always off track here. I'm just here for the next Mr. Shakespeare quote. Me too. He's probably Googling. He's probably Googling something right now. He doesn't have that all up in his head, K1. He's Googling those quotes and copy and pasting. Takes a long time to copy and paste and then maybe do one slight tweak so that there's no copyright issues. You know, it's probably what's going on there. It takes a little bit of time to figure that out. But okay, anyway. But again, add Makuba and Brown to the list. Is this going to be one of the most boring Eagles OTAs / training camps of recent memory? Pretty much you've got 2, maybe 3 battles going on. And they're really not battles, so to speak. You've got a new offensive coordinator, but he's been here for, 4 years now. So everybody already knows him. He's not like a new personality. There's not a whole lot of things that are going to change over the next 2 months with this Philadelphia Eagles football team. The team is what it is. The defending champions that brought back almost the entirety of their team. They lost one offensive starter, and the presumptive replacement was already on the team. They lost 1, 2, 3 starters on defense. And yes, John Campbell is a new rookie, and say they have 2 rookies that are replacing them. That's it. Like, there's very little turnover with this team. So we pretty much already know everything there is to know about this Eagles team. That's why I kind of put Kevin Patullo up there in the tops of importance over the next month or two, because of this being his first time calling plays, his first time as an offensive coordinator. I'm more of a Keats man myself. Keats. Shipley versus Dillon for running back number 2 role. Here's the thing. You think I'm going to say something negative about Will Shipley. I'm not. I think there's a lot of hope from Eagles fans about A.J. Dillon. A.J. Dillon, to me, until we actually see him on the field in a preseason game, I can't guarantee that A.J. Dillon makes this football team. A.J. Dillon is coming back from an injury that pretty much he was told ended his career. There was a very high likelihood he was never going to come back and play again when he got hurt in 2023, November 2023. And the fact that he's even getting the chance is fantastic. But until I see him going against real defenders and trying to make a cut or trying to get hit or run for short yardage, I don't even know if A.J. Dillon's a lock. I mean, I know there's not a lot of depth at running back. You got Will Shipley. You got a bunch of other guys, like unknowns. Technically, Avery Williams can play running back. And I'm actually kind of curious to see if Avery Williams could fill in that Kenny Gainwell, role. I don't know if he could pass block like Kenny Gainwell averagely could. But Avery Williams is a guy that I think you're going to see in the backfield in camp, and you're going to see Avery Williams in the backfield in preseason games to see what he's got. A cornerback turned running back, but he's mainly your return specialist. The good thing about Avery Williams is no more Cooper DeJean returning punts, which is extremely, extremely important. So I think Will Shipley is clearly hands down the number 2 running back, Rick, at this point. Now, he's got a proven camp and in preseason games that he can pick up blitzes. And if he can prove that he can pick up blitzes, then he has no reason why he will not be the number 2 running back on this team. Did you just say averagely? What? Sorry. I don't know. Maybe not. In fair, Philadelphia, where we lay our scene, the Eagles doth. Mr. really likes the word doth. Prepare for a season of high hopes and great expectations. Yet a shadow looms over their noble quest for the camera of Hard Knocks. I'm kind of excited for in-season Hard Knocks. I am. Very, very excited. I actually would have liked to have seen them be on the training camp Hard Knocks so they could all talk about the tush push. Which the tush push? I don't know if you guys saw this. It's being reported that the NFL brought up the idea at these last owner meetings. They're not changing anything yet, and it can't be changed till the next CBA. But they're going to bring up and start over the next couple of years discussing the salary cap because they feel certain individuals manipulate it in a way that's unfair to other teams. AKA, NFL teams and owners are upset at how Howie Roseman manages the salary cap and builds these great teams, and they couldn't push through the cancellation of the tush push. So they all sat around and said, how can we find a way to screw the Eagles a little bit more? So they're already beginning, and it's going to be what? 5-6 years till the CBA's up. I think it's 2031. We agreed last week. And we'll probably have 2 more Super Bowl titles by 2031 anyway, so who cares? But they're already talking about trying to find a way to adjust the salary cap rules so that teams like the Eagles, and very few teams mimic what the Eagles do. It's crazy to me. It's completely crazy that they're discussing this. It really is. It really is. Bills, Eagles, Hard Knocks. Well, it's Bills, Hard Knocks, and then the NFC East in the in-season one. So they're going to probably do an episode on each team. There will be the Howie rule in the future. Absolutely. Can't add void. I heard the conversation that the talking point is that you're not going to be able to add void years to contracts. And they're going to limit how much upfront money that you could pay a player of the contract and make it spread out. Years of, given, I think this year's $20 million cap hit on Jalen Hurts' contract is the biggest part of it. It's kind of crazy. Really crazy. But they're literally going to make a Howie rule on it. 3 more Super Bowl champions. Sure. Hold on. Let's think about that. That's 25%. That's 6 more. 3 out of the next 6. If Jalen Hurts stays healthy, because Tanner McKee won't do it, throwing that one right in there, really in. As long as Jalen Hurts stays healthy, sure, I can get behind 3 more Super Bowl championships. I ain't going to complain about that. My love is like a red roseman. Like, it's comical. Like, what are the odds that they literally couldn't figure out a way to push through the tush push? So they're changing the salary cap rules in a half a decade because of that. Like, it's just too coincidental. See, I threw that one out there, and I reeled you right on in on that. As we have about 13 people watching on the YouTube page right now and only 10 likes. So if you haven't already, please hit that like button. If you haven't already, please share. And please tell some people to subscribe. Make it a Memorial Day miracle, and let's find 10 new subscribers today. So when I go live tomorrow, start today at 528. When we go live tomorrow, maybe I can have 538 instead of 528. Let's make a Memorial Day miracle or Memorial Day massacre, however you look at it. Saquon stays healthy for 6 more years. They could definitely get 2 to 3. Saquon ain't playing football in 6 years. I'd be shocked if Saquon's still playing football in 6 years. What's he, 29 right now? 28? I don't know. It is what it is. I will say this. As long as Nick Sirianni's our coach, that means A.J. Brown will stay here because A.J. Brown was quoted over the last week saying that he will stay in Philadelphia as long as Nick Sirianni's the coach. I love, and I don't think we talked about this enough, Nick Sirianni, when he got his extension, just how glowingly his team, his players talk about him. How much the players on this team, and not just, A.J. Brown, but Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, they probably butt heads a lot. They're not best buddies, but they respect each other so much. And everybody on this team respects Nick Sirianni so much. I don't think it gets appreciated enough, the love that this team has for Nick Sirianni. It really doesn't. I think it's pretty special. Ever notice whenever a Philadelphia executive figures out how to circumvent the rules of the league, they try to push him out a la Hinkie and Roseman? Did you ever notice? How many executives have been poached from the Eagles, Rick, and failed in other cities, a.k.a. Joe Douglas, who is now back with the Eagles because he failed when the Jets poached him. Now, I don't know if Joe Douglas totally failed. He did draft Garrett Wilson. He did draft Sauce Gardner, Breece Hall. Joe Douglas failed because of the Aaron Rodgers situation. He let that happen with the Jets and all. And obviously, I don't know if he was there to draft Zach Wilson or not. But all these executives get poached, and then they all fail. Because Howie Roseman tells his secrets. But he doesn't tell all his secrets. Howie Roseman evolves. They don't know how to evolve. But it's crazy. It really is. It's a really crazy thing. Anyway, Nick Sirianni. I'm curious, and I'd have to get a coach. I haven't tried to get Dale Carlson back on. Maybe I'll get him or my man from Texas on. What would a coach's message? What will Nick Sirianni's first message to the team on Tuesday be? As a champion, as defending your championship, do you have to change your message at all? Do you have to change the way? You don't change the way you lead, but maybe you have to change the message that you tell the players. It's something that's very interesting to me. For 3 years, his message has been, we've got to get to the Super Bowl. We've got to push forward. We need perfection. We got this, X, Y, Z, because we got to get there. Now he's got to keep them there. How does he do that? Really? Seriously? Would you say Howie is the Bill Belichick of GMs? Bill Belichick? I'm trying to think the best comparison for Howie Roseman. He could be the Bill Belichick. Can Howie Roseman turn into the Phil Jackson? Maybe? Phil Jackson? Bill Belichick? I don't know. His message will be, don't do anything stupid. But if you do, here's the number of David Archer. That's what he'll say. That's what he'll tell everybody. Only when you do something stupid, right? Only if you do something stupid. Do you need him? But that's it. That is all. I think these first words on Tuesday from Nick Sirianni are very important to the season. How much does he have to pivot? How much does he have to change? And I don't want to say that he's got to change his personality, but he might have to change some of the words. Sometimes you've got to mix it up. Now, as I'm sitting here and hyping up Nick Sirianni and talking about how underappreciated Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman are, and how underappreciated or how much everybody in the clubhouse and the locker room loves Nick Sirianni, and you hear it after the extension interviews or press conferences and stuff like that. I do want to throw a positive comment. I might criticize Rob Thompson a lot, but the players do love Rob Thompson as well. The only thing Rob Thompson is missing to get my approval is just a little bit of accountability when the players struggle. Like, I know his personality doesn't do it. I just think my problem with Rob Thompson is he's not the kind of guy that I grew up on, the Larry Boa type, the Jim Fregosi type. But again, if we're going to give Nick Sirianni all his flowers for how much his team loves him, we got to give the same thing to Rob Thompson as well. Those players love Rob Thompson. And I think that's very important for your team to respect their manager or coach. Let's see what we got now from this here. Should the vote bear fruit, twould be a vision of paradise to a youth, a triumph so grand and wondrous that its glory doth, there's that word, doth blaze like the dreams of a lad in his prime. Sincerely, Lord Laurie. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. Oh, I get it. Like, I'm not telling him to change his passionate ways. I'm not telling him to stop using weird, phrases to motivate. I'm just saying, can we continue just using keep the main thing? Basically what we're putting forward. Is it really as simple as a leader to stand in front of the team and be like, we got one, but one's not enough? Is that really all you got to say? Or we got one, let's get two. Is that all it really takes? Or do you have to put out some kind of message that now we were the hunters, now we're the hunted? Look at what the league did. They tried to ban our plays. Do they need bulletin board material? How do you keep players, Rick, from being content because they got their championship now? Or is it just continue going on as is? I think coaches need to change things from time to time. Oh, I agree. Larry Bow never won shit. Well, all of them have not won a World Series, which is all that really matters. Yeah, and I get that. And I love that you say Larry, because Larry Bowen never winning chip. Very similar to all the love that Buddy Ryan gets in this city, even though he never won shit. It's just that hard-nosed, in-your-face style that we grew up with that maybe resonates with a Philadelphia personality a little bit more. And Nick Sirianni, while he's not in your face in a mean way, he wears his emotions on his sleeve. And the fact that Sirianni wears those emotions like that, but Rob Thompson doesn't, is probably why I don't, and a lot of Phillies fans don't resonate or connect to him, because we want to see emotion. I wear my emotion on my sleeves all the time. I think that's really the true thing there. It's not that we don't like him. It's not that we don't trust or don't think he can do it. We just want to see more of that personality. And you know what? Again, like I said, and why I brought his name up, if we're going to give Nick Sirianni his flowers, we should still give some to Rob Thompson as well. Mitchie Pooh, good morning. Do you still believe in whoop that trick? Who is more likely to make the 53? Josh Uche, don't call me Use, or Aziz Ojulari? Are you just trying to get me to say names, or do you really want to know this answer? Because I think both these guys make this roster. I do. But I was on Party on Broad last week, and I said that Ojulari will be third, maybe second, but definitely third on this team in sacks when the season ends. I got Nolan Smith will lead this team in sacks. I'm going to say 9.5 sacks for Nolan Smith. I'm going to say 8.5 sacks for Jalen Carter. And I'm going to say 7.5 sacks this year for Ojulari. Ojulari will be the main part of the rotation. Nolan Smith, Alex Hunt, Bryce Huff, Ojulari, maybe Jihad Campbell at times. Uche will be in that back end of the rotation, the occasional. I see Ojulari having a Vinny Curry type season in there on every third down and every passing down. The thing with Bryce Huff is, does he make the team? If he makes the team, absolutely. 100%. I think Bryce Huff can have a better year than last year. Not saying much, but yes. Hard nose in your face doesn't work like it used to. It works for the Eagles. But yes, I agree. It's just not the same. People are just a bunch of sissies. Where does Smile Mondin fit in? I talked about on the Eagles Checkdown, my 10-minute Eagles podcast I do for the Eagles Pinpool Podcast Network. Talked about Smile Mondin today. Smile Mondin, these next 2 weeks, big for him. Because Nakobe Dean's obviously not around yet. He might not play at all this year. John Campbell still won't practice till at a minimum training camp. Maybe not until halfway into training camp. So you got Zach Bond, you got Trot Jr., who Vic Fangio likes but couldn't get on the field, and Smile Mondin. I think Smile Mondin has a chance to edge out Jeremiah Trotter Jr. on the depth chart. They're already calling him, Mondin, a special team ace going into this season. So he's going to have a role on special teams right away. And if Jihad Campbell's not ready week 1, Nakobe Dean definitely won't be. Trotter Jr. will probably get the nod because of the comfortability that Vic Fangio will have. I think Smile Mondin is going to surprise some people. Alex Hunt, 10 sacks. I don't know why. This is just a gut feeling. I think Alex Hunt regresses a touch this year. Alex Hunt didn't really do much great. He did a couple okay things late in the season and then had a great playoff and Super Bowl run. But I think that there's some speed bumps ahead for Alex Hunt. He's still got to figure out how to play the run a little bit better. I don't know if Alex Hunt double-digit sacks yet. I don't know. That's a tough one. If anybody's going to get double-digit sacks on this team, Rick, I would predict it's more likely to be Nolan Smith. And Josh Huff, Bryce Huff, not Josh Huff. Josh Huff is a different football player. You can't, but you can. You take the dead cap hit and you deal with it. You try to find a way to trade him, who I don't know. It's just very, very rare that a guy of Bryce Huff's contract level is a healthy scratch in a Super Bowl and then sticks around. Hey, we all make mistakes. You don't let my mistakes slide by. So I'm not going to let your mistakes slide by. And we're up to 14 people watching on the YouTube page right now. It's a little slow. It is Memorial Day. Most people are probably sleeping in today. But please, we only have 11 likes. There's 14 people watching. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and hit that subscribe button. I greatly, 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 greatly appreciate everybody doing that. CD Lamb has no respect for Quinyanamo Bay. He says, stop the cap. I saw that. And the Cowboys are just as delusional as their fans are. Cowboys and the Cowboys Nation, delusional. the Lulu. Go. Let CeeDee Lamb show no respect. And honestly, CeeDee Lamb, we talked about this last year. CeeDee Lamb lines up in the slot most of the time anyway. So he's getting covered by Coop more often than not anyway. He probably won't cut Bryce Huff. Probably not. But Bryce Huff has to do something. Bryce Huff has to figure something out. Bryce Huff can't be what he was last year. And Howie Roseman is not afraid to make tough financial decisions if it's best for the team. If Bryce Huff doesn't cut it, if Vic Fangio goes to him and says, I am not playing this guy, I cannot play him, Howie will try to find a trade partner. And if he can't, he'll cut him. He probably won't. But if it gets to that point, he will. I don't think he's afraid to cut somebody. CeeDee Lamb Chop. I like that. What was that? Lamb Chops. Play along. Yes. Cowboys' desperation for relevance. It really is. Is there anything more entertaining on social media than Delulu Cowboys fans? Now, look. If social media was around the last time the Cowboys were relevant in the early 90s, I'm sure Eagles fans would have been crying and desperate for relevance as well. You know, it's just times have changed. We're the relevant franchise. We're America's team. Well, we're not actually. But because social media is relevant now, they look so desperate and they're so comical. I saw somebody shared a video of who was the dude they traded for, the wide receiver. Josh Allen's way secure always puts his name up there on the screen. And how I guess on one play last year, he made Quinion Mitchell bite. The pass didn't even go his way. But the video is titled, Putting Quinyanimo Bay on Skates. First off, the ball wasn't thrown your way. Secondly, you pushed off on Quinion Mitchell. Thirdly, we beat you by 30 points. So who cares? No, not George Pickens, the guy they added this year. The guy they added last year at the trade deadline from Carolina is who I was talking about anyway, but whatever. Another knucklehead. Yeah, exactly. Dallas battling Giants for last place in the division. I'll be curious to see. I know I'm higher on Washington than others. I still think it's Eagles 1, Washington 2. I still think Dallas is 3 and Giants are 4. I just haven't figured out what I think the Giants will be with Russell Wilson this year. Their defense is going to be better with a dual Carter. Their defense was already okay anyway. Russell Wilson is obviously better than who they were throwing out there quarterback last year. They obviously have Malik Neighbors, so they have a talented wide receiver. I'm still torn whether I think the Giants are in that 5 to 6 win range or that 7 to 8 win range. And that, to me, determines where the Cowboys will fit. Because I got the Cowboys right around 8 wins at this point. I think the Giants could prove to maybe flip-flop with Dallas. Maybe Dallas falls to 6 and the Giants get up to 8 wins. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. Like I said, I'm still figuring out the wins and losses. I think I got the Eagles around 12, maybe 11 wins. Washington around 10. But we'll see how those predictions play out later on this summer. Giants going to be a dumpster fire again. That's who they are. Yeah, but they brought in some stability with a veteran quarterback that's won a Super Bowl, maybe an MVP in Russell Wilson. So that helps, brings some stability to a franchise, for sure. Look, they're still going to be a bad team. They're still a terrible organization. They still got one of the dumbest GMs in football. And the Giants D is legit because that dumbest GM in football didn't outthink himself. There, look, right here. Here it is. Abdul Carter, right there for you. Just take him. And he actually took him. It was a very un-Giant-esque move, taking the best player available. Probably the best player in the draft. They already had Brian Burns and a couple other great players on that defense. So the Giants' defense is going to be very good. Quarterback controversy by week 9. Yeah, look, again, I'm propping up Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson was terrible last year, too. I said last year Russell Wilson's washed. It's just the veteran leadership, the veteran presence that'll bring maybe some professionalism to the organization, to the locker room. A real true leader, not on the field with his play, but on the sidelines in the locker room, which I think can help. And look, Jackson Dart is not going to – well, if Jackson Dart takes the job from Russell Wilson at any point this year, then Russell Wilson might as well just retire, right? Like, if you get beat out by a rookie Jackson Dart at any point this season, just go away. It's time to call it a career. Because, yeah, plain and simple. Plain and simple on that. Guys, again, we're at the top of the hour here, Trending the AM. Like, share, subscribe. Would greatly, greatly appreciate all those followings if you guys could do it. Let's have a Memorial Day miracle. Let's find 10 subscribers today. Everyone watching right now, go out and find one person to subscribe. Let's get to 538 by tomorrow morning. Not going to happen. I don't believe in miracles. Cowboys starting running backs are Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. Javonte Williams, that's the guy that used to play for Denver, right? And Miles Sanders, yeah. Look, when you spend money, $60 million on Dak Prescott, and however much money you spent on CeeDee Lamb, and you make the contracts in a way like they do, you can't afford to have a better running back than Williams and Sanders. And again, this is propping up Howie Roseman a little bit again. How Howie Roseman sets the bar that all teams have to beat in contract. Howie Roseman signs these guys ahead of time. He locks guys in first. He never lets things. I didn't fact check so I haven't had time, but I'm going to do it right now. There's a problem happening in Washington right now, okay? And Howie Roseman would never allow it to happen in Philadelphia, ever. Let me just double check it. Yeah. There's already a problem in Washington because Terry McLaurin is entering the last year of his contract. And he didn't report to OTAs. Now they're voluntary, but he said he's not going to report to camp without an extension. Howie Roseman got A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith lined up and locked up before Jamar Chase, before T. Higgins, before CeeDee Lamb, before Justin Jefferson, before all these guys got their big bags. And he built the contracts in a way that he could pay everybody. And that's why they're going to revisit the salary cap, at the next CBA. Because Howie Roseman's smart. Yet the way the Cowboys waited till the last second to pay Dak and CeeDee Lamb is now why they can't afford a real running back or a real offensive line or a real defense. Jerry ain't paying upfront money. What's up, Marshawn, by the way? Good morning. Happy Memorial Day. And that a big reason why, and we talked earlier in the show, Marshawn, about this, about how guys like Joe Douglas get poached from Philly and get poached from Howie Roseman's team, but then fail elsewhere, is because of how Jeffrey Lurie is willing to cut those big checks, those big upfront signing bonus checks, all that cash up front. That's what makes Howie Roseman is only successful because Jeffrey Lurie gives him the tools and enables him to be successful. Like Joe Douglas, the GM, drafted some really strong talent over the last couple of years with the Jets, but couldn't put the team together because he doesn't have a Jeffrey Lurie. I don't even know who the owner of the Jets is. It's a big part of it. Very, 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 very big part of it. And it definitely plays a factor. You got to have an owner willing to pay. You have to. It is what it is. But anyway, I see that I see Washington, and I see Terry McLaurin holding out. Outside of Hassan Reddick, which he didn't really hold out. We traded him before he held out, basically. When was the last time the Eagles had a contract dispute looming over this team entering training camp? I can't even think of the last contract issue, period. And that was Hassan Reddick last offseason, but was resolved like that with that trade to the Jets. When was the last real contract dispute in Philly with the Eagles? I mean, there had to be one at least since T.O., right? Great point. Laurie and Howie work well together. Major reason for it is Laurie is not scared to spend and take calculated chances. And there's another aspect of it, Marshawn. Jeffrey Laurie is not afraid to let Howie Roseman take chances, calculated chances. Howie Roseman isn't batting 1,000. He isn't 100 for 100 on decisions. Howie Roseman is allowed to make mistakes. He knows Jeffrey Laurie will give him some leeway. All right, I'm going to take 10 chances. If 8 work out, we're winning the Super Bowl. 2 might not. Bryce Huff did not work out. We'll have to cross that bridge when we do. Yeah, I didn't even look at his age, Terry McLaurin. But, yeah, I mean, he sees all these other wide receivers getting paid. Why wouldn't he want to get paid? Djax was the last player to be franchise tagged, held out. Or Jeremy Maclin. Well, Maclin but Maclin and Djax, we're talking, that's 10, 12 years ago, right? Because Djax was gone under Chip Kelly, so that was like 2013, 2014. Maclin was already gone at that point, right? We got Asante Samuel 2011. Again, this was early Howie Roseman. This was Howie Roseman when he was still taking orders from Andy Reid, right? Isn't it crazy that we have to go back over a decade to find out the last time this Eagles team had contract disputes? You know what contract disputes are? They're distractions. Whether you're trying to win a Super Bowl for the first time, win your 3rd Super Bowl in your franchise, or defend your Super Bowl championship, which is what the Eagles are. Distractions are problems. And Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Laurie does not believe in distractions. Reed Blankenship hasn't gotten paid yet. Reed Blankenship and Nakobe Dean, 2 guys entering the last year of their contracts on this team. But even that's not distracting. These guys aren't distracting anything. I'm trying to look. I want to say I'm almost positive Reed Blankenship's up for a contract extension. Going back to Spot Track here. Oh no, yeah, this is his last year on his deal. He's an unrestricted free agent next year. So he's 26. He's scheduled to make only $1.8 million this year. That's crazy low. But even Reed Blankenship isn't distracting on this thing. Chip had Maclin on a 1-year prove-it deal. Maclin proved it, and Chip let him walk away. Chip Kelly was a dip. He was a nitwit, okay? He got paid, contract extended, or guaranteed. Reed Blankenship is still listed as a after the first Super Bowl year. Gotcha. I gotcha. That is correct. You're right. I thought you were trying to say that he already got a contract extension this offseason, and I missed it somehow. I'm like, I would never miss a player getting an extension this offseason. But even that, Reed Blankenship is on the last year of his deal. He's 26. He'll be 27 next year. There is no distraction. Now, will he show up to OTAs tomorrow? I'll be curious. Writing that down. That's a good Eagles check down. Howie's Hyman Roth. He made all his partners rich. Very important, Marshawn. And that's why all the partners took Hyman Roth's side, right? Because we make a lot of money with them. But who was our Johnny Ola? That's a good question. I'm not sure. I was watching some reels on The Sopranos, and there's a Sopranos situation similar too. Keeping somebody happy because we make a lot of money off of that person. Well, it had something to do with a battle with New York. But anyway, the fact that we've got to go back 10 plus years to find the last time the Eagles had a distraction entering their offseason workouts, their OTAs, training camp. It's big props to Howie Roseman. And that's why the Eagles are consistently one of the better teams in the league. That's why the league is constantly trying to change the rules. They just hate us for some reason. Cooper DeJean could win the slam dunk contest, and he's only 6 feet tall. Sure. NBA All-Star Weekend. Let's throw Cooper DeJean in there. That would actually be pretty fun and pretty cool. Is CJGJ Joey Sazin? It's a good one. That's good. It's good. Anyway. Are we going to miss CJGJ this year? Is that going to be one of the... Somebody asked me the other day where I feel this Eagles defense will be ranked this year. And I was trying to put it together in my mind. Will they be one of the top 2 or 3 defenses again like last year? Or will they step back? And on one hand, I keep telling myself that it's most of the same starters returning. And they upgrade it maybe even a little bit with Jahad Campbell. And now, mentioning Chauncey Gardner-Johnson's name. And earlier in the show, Rick was talking about Andrew Makuba versus Sidney Brown at safety and that battle there for the starter, which I don't think there's a battle, but there might be. We're going from Chauncey Gardner-Johnson to a rookie, or Sidney Brown, who's basically like a rookie. Is that a bigger loss than we realize? Yeah. We don't need Godfather 3 references, but if they happen, they happen. If the Phillies win it all this year, will we care about the Sixers and Flyers in 2026? If the Phillies win the World Series and the Eagles are cruising along come October, November, whatever, and are looking just as good and dominant as they did last year, the Sixers and the Flyers are going to be after distant thoughts. Like, seriously. They won't even... Everybody hates how WIP only plays the greatest hits, the Eagles, all the time. God, even the fanatic won't be talking Sixers, and they're the Sixers and Flyers partners. It's pathetic. If the Phillies win it all this year, you could ship Sixers out of town and the Flyers into a new city. Top 7 to 10, as long as the coverage is elite, we will have a shot. I said this team, my answer to the guy that asked the question on Twitter, I had a Ask Me Anything, session on Twitter, which I do. I said that by week 6 or 7, we'll be somewhere in that 8 to 10, I think I said, range. But by the end of the season, once the rookies are fully caught up and once we've got this team gelled together, that I could see it being back in the top 3 again, defensively speaking. But I think there's going to be some hiccups. Keely Ringo's going to take his lumps. Jahad Campbell has got to learn and get healthy. Safety's going to be a question. We'll see. There might be some bumps in the road early on in the season on defense. Maybe. Or maybe they'll just come out and be lights out from the get-go. But there is a chance there could be some quote-unquote bumps in the road early this season. Obviously. But there is consistency. Where on the offense, we've got another new offensive coordinator, Vic Fangio. I'm trying to think. Yeah. First time since 2021 to 2022. 22 we had Gannon. 23 we had Desai and Patricia. This is the first time we're having back-to-back same defensive coordinators. The last time we had back-to-back defensive coordinators stay, we went to the Super Bowl in 2022. Sleeper rookie or now Ty Robinson. Everybody wants to love Ty Robinson. He's got the cool nickname, the Vanilla Gorilla or whatever. He's played fullback and helped block on touchdowns. Big, thick, powerful Nebraska country boy. But it's interesting. You even asking whether it be a sleeper or not. I think Ty Robinson will instantly have a role on this team because of the loss of Milton Williams. Will his role be large or not? I don't know. Will he be successful or not? I don't know. Moro Jomo's going to take a bump up from his 380 snaps to 500. Hopefully Jordan Davis adds an extra 100 snaps. There's about 300 to 350 snaps that Ty Robinson's going to have to take to make up for Milton Williams. Milton Williams had over 500 snaps. 100 to Jomo, 100 to Jordan Davis. That's 300 some for Ty Robinson. We'll see. I will never doubt these Georgia dogs again. Ringo will take his lumps, but he's been a champion at every level. Yeah, look. I talked about it earlier, Marshawn. Keely Ringo, these OTAs in the beginning of this week's OTAs and in a month training camp is very important early on for Keely Ringo to establish that he is the guy. Because there is nobody behind him other than Adoree Jackson. Which means if he can't capitalize on this opportunity, then Howie Roseman will be watching the waiver wire or the trade market for another cornerback. I mean, you got Asante Samuel Jr., still a free agent. There's always guys, Jalen Ramsey, is always being talked about in trades. Keely Ringo could take like Tyler Steen. They have 6 guys fighting with Tyler Steen. They got Andrew Makuba and Sidney Brown battling. There's no real battle for Keely Ringo. It's his until it's not because he loses it. Does it make sense the way I'm describing it? Like in my mind, it sounds right. I don't know if it's coming out right or not. The exciting whites are adding to the exciting whites are going from tag team champions to now they're going to be shooting for the trios championship. Or we can just call them a faction, right? The exciting whites faction. I believe in the Vanilla Gorilla. I want to. I do. Good morning, Duck. Hope you're well this Memorial Day weekend. Guys, we're coming up on the final 10, 12 minutes of the show. There's only 12 likes. Please like. Please share. Please subscribe if you haven't. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Quiet Memorial Day. Quiet Memorial Day on the show. Obviously, most people are sleeping in. Most people are off from work today. I'm going into work. I'll be at Fox's Pizza from 11 to 4 today. $10 large cheese pizzas all day for Memorial Day. Pickup only. Dine-in only. So come on out. If you're anywhere near Kennett Square today, come get a $10 large cheese pizza. I'll make it for you. We'll talk some sports. But guys, as we continue on what's on tap this week, well, lots more Phillies talk. Obviously, lots more training camp talk. Not training camp, OTA talk. Because I do enjoy, I'm excited, I guess is the way to say it, that the Eagles are getting back to work this week because we don't have Sixers to talk about. We don't have Flyers to go. Oh, by the way, saying the Sixers name, shout out to those New York Knickerbockers. Where's that Knicks fan that used to always come in here and trash us? Trinidad. How about those New York Knickerbockers and how great they're looking in the Eastern Conference Finals? Yeah, I mean, the only good thing to mention basketball-wise is the fact that they're almost swept out of the playoffs right there by the Pacers. The NBA is hoping for a miraculous comeback because the Pacers being in the finals ain't good for business. Just saying. But anyway, as we wrap it up, we're going to talk a lot of football this week, a lot of these camp battles, a lot of these rotational issues with the Eagles, and of course, Kevin Patullo. We really didn't get in. I mentioned Kevin Patullo's name a few times. And we'll dive more into Kevin Patullo tomorrow, I guess, on what he has to work on, what he has to do to get on the same page with Jalen Hurts. But does a new offense coordinator, even though he's been here for the last 4 years, Kevin Patullo have to earn the trust of Jalen Hurts in the offense? And how can he do that if he has to? I don't know if that's a good thing or not. We'll have to check it out after the show, Mitchie Poo. I don't know. We'll see what kind of content he has to put out, whether that's a good idea or not, whether that's good or not, period. What Kevin Patullo's next 2 months will be like. How can he keep things the same, but put his own tweaks on things? This offense was pretty special last year. And I'll be curious to see how this offense plays out, how much they use or don't use Saquon Barkley this year. Will there be that drop-off? Or will they protect him by putting the ball in Jalen Hurts' hands more? Now, I know how Nick Sirianni said that they protect Saquon Barkley by the way they manage him in the offseason and during weeks in between the games in the season, and that they're going to just keep firing away with him. They've invested a lot of money in Saquon Barkley this offseason, a lot more money. He's a very big key to winning another Super Bowl. No offense to Will Shipley, but the drop-off from Saquon to Will Shipley is pretty severe, probably. So Kevin Patullo is on the clock with a very, very important next 2 months with his Eagles team. It's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds. So we'll dive into that a little bit tomorrow. We'll talk Phillies versus the Braves. Yeah. The fact that he's changed his number and he's changed where he's on the depth chart means we are going to see Ben Van Sumeren. Okay. But how much? And when I was on Party on Broad last week, we were discussing that. Is Ben Van Sumeren, I mean, he had like a dozen snaps all season at fullback before he got hurt. Is he going to be on the field for 8 plays a game? 6, 10? How many snaps a game do you think? Say they get 60 snaps on offense, and that's fairly conservative. How he's used is going to be very interesting, or how much he's used. I have not forgotten A.J. Dillon, Mitch, and I've said this, though, many times. I said it earlier in the show today as well. To me, until I see A.J. Dillon in a preseason game get hit or try to hit a hole, I cannot even guarantee that A.J. Dillon makes this team. Again, his injury was career-ending. The fact that he's even got a chance to come back is a big win. I don't know until I see him on the field taking hits, Mitchie Poo. So I'm not that I'm forgetting about A.J. Dillon. I just don't know. Yes, I gave you a little layup. Hope you didn't brick it like the New York Knicks are bricking the series. What's up, Mike Fuji? How you doing, my man? Patullo should know the strengths and weaknesses of this offense. The fact that he's been here for 4 years, he knows these players. He's probably close with these players. He's been in all the offensive meetings. He's helped coach, this offense for 4 years. Very important. And a big, big, important thing, for sure. There's a difference between being an assistant and being the guy that has to call the plays. Now, I hope it's a seamless transition. I expect it to be a seamless transition. Will it be? We're going to find out. And how this team reacts in practices and the videos we see coming out of practices and what he's doing differently or the same. It's, to me, the most under-talked about part of this offseason is probably the change of coordinator. Because, again, what is this? Year 47 in a row in Jalen Hurts' life that he's getting a new offensive coordinator? I mean, this guy can't catch a break. Now, if Kevin Patullo is successful this year, I don't think we would lose him this offseason. Like, if this offense is great again this year and say we lose in the Super Bowl, just throwing that out there. Nobody's poaching Kevin Patullo next offseason to be a head coach. So we should have at least a 2-year consistency there, in my mind. But if he fails, then that's another whole subject. Yeah, we never want Mitchie Poo to change. We never do. I miss TJ McConnell. Dude, Mitchie Poo. I mean, there's no argument there for me. When TJ McConnell left the Philadelphia 76ers, that was the end of the era. Honestly. Straight up. That changed so much in the Sixers era. It just did. So damn shame. It's such a shame. It is what it is. Guys, if you haven't already, we're coming up to the end of the show today. Please like, share, and subscribe on the YouTube channel. Yo, Mike, if you're not already, if you look in my bio on Twitter, the YouTube link is there. Subscribe to it. I greatly, greatly appreciate it. I was going to ask the question. I know, Mike, you're watching today on Twitter, and I know Big Al watches regularly on Twitter. A couple other do. They comment on Twitter. There might come a day where I don't stream on Twitter. It costs a lot of money to pay for Twitter Premium, and I don't know. There might come a day where I decide not to pay for Twitter Premium. So to see the shows, you'd have to subscribe to the YouTube channel or be watching on YouTube. So it's something I'm debating. What's up, Eric? The gatekeeper of the Illuminati is in the house. Happy Memorial Day to you, Eric. Hope you are well. Better late than never to the show. I've also thought about it. I'm trying to make some changes. I'm trying to make some growth. I'm wondering how this show would translate in a replay fashion. Good morning, Mark. How you doing? Hope you are well. Hope you have a great Memorial Day. I've considered setting up an account where I maybe stream this stuff on replay because you can't do it live on Spotify, Apple iTunes, and stuff like that. Just another way to get the name out there, get the word out there, and grow this great show. I'm considering it. It's a lot of work because it takes me 20 minutes to download and upload a 10-minute Eagles checkdown. It'll probably take a lot longer to download this show than re-upload it, but it's something I'm contemplating. I don't even know how to go across that process, but I wonder. I know my golf show, Fairway to Heaven, would be great on replay and very relatable or would translate to the replay. Patullo was the Eagles passing game coordinator. He probably put together the game plan while Kellen Moore was interviewing for the Saints job. Very possible. Very possible. I have faith. I like the decision to bring in to make Kevin Patullo the guy. Now, did I want them to interview some outside voices? Yes, I did. Did I want them to bring in? But they brought in a new quarterback coach, a new passing game coordinator. They brought in a lot of other fresh voices to help. So it's good. What's up, David? How you doing, my man? Nick Sirianni indicated that Kevin had been leaned on to make important decisions during his tenure. And I asked about this. Philadelphia and stated the play calling was not just the job of Kellen Moore, but rather was a collaboration between Nick Kellen and Kevin Patullo. Yeah, I remember hearing and reading about this as well. But again, it's still a new role. It's still a new job. It is still technically his first time doing it. Being part of the collaboration or the guy in Jalen Hurts' ear calling in the play and making that final decision. Maybe there's some. I don't want to say I'm worried. I'm not worried. But I think it's one of the bigger, more important parts of OTAs next week, of the early parts of training camp. Maybe me using the word does Kevin Patullo have to earn the trust was the only wrong thing I said there. Because he's obviously got the trust if he's been here for 4 years and working in the offensive meeting rooms for a while. Lurie is a business manager. He's an owner who gets the fans, which is rare. He gets to make money. You got to be willing to spend money, which goes hand in hand with winning. Absolutely. We love Jeffrey Lurie here. Probably the great. I sometimes say that Jeffrey Lurie might very well be the best owner in all of America sports. Football, baseball, basketball, hockey. He literally might be the best owner in sports. I don't know enough about all the soccer club owners and stuff like that. But when you're talking about consistently building winners, taking care of the community with charities, putting out a great facility like the link, the whole package of Jeffrey Lurie, how he interacts, his passionate pleas to not get the tush push voted out. The total package of Jeffrey Lurie, pretty special. Maybe the greatest owner in sports. Very well. Guys, it's Memorial Day. I want to wish everybody a happy Memorial Day. Please be safe. Please, please, please be safe this week, today, whatever you do. Until the league doesn't allow owners to pay cash up front, the league went after the tush. Now, dude, I think it's hilarious, David. We talked about this already. Everybody's jumping in here late now as I'm ready to wrap up and go to work. It's crazy. They couldn't get the tush push canceled, so let's change another rule. Now, they've got time. None of that will change till the next CBA is up in 2031. But they're going to. Harry Roseman better start planning his next formula of success from now. Petula is moving up to a huge position. He's a winner in life. Great look for his resume. Absolutely. Definitely the best owner. Definitely the best owner of Philly. Is the best owner in sports. I wish I slept in. I should have. It is Memorial Day. I still got to work. As soon as I hit end show here, I'm off to the pizza shop. Guys, I got to wrap this up here. Thank you all for tuning in. Everybody have a great and safe Memorial Day. While you're barbecuing, while you're drinking, while you're having fun, please remember what makes today so special. You know, why we have the opportunity to celebrate today. $10 large cheese pizza, stay at Fox's Pizza. Make sure you spend some time and remember the true meaning of Memorial Day. But be safe. No drinking and driving. Enjoy your day. It's going to be a beautiful day in the Delaware Valley. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll continue this conversation about Kevin Petula, Kevin Petullo, and the offense going forward. We'll talk about a lot of stuff tomorrow, plus more Phillies baseball, et cetera, et cetera. Everybody have a great one. Go Birds. Bubbles up.